LZ party? Did you have fun?
It was a blast.
It was a blast? What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about that? Do you want to talk about something else? Do you want to talk about SRs?
I'll talk
you want to talk
whatever.
about your RTR V8 versus your JZ in Formula D? I feel like a lot of that stuff you already cover probably in your videos.
A little bit here and there, but I feel like you ask good questions.
All right, so your life is moving pretty fast. You're a BMX YouTuber, you got into cars, you got into drifting, you started getting into like Formula D, you've started throwing events. You're now going on, you're on the biggest FD, RTR is the biggest FD team there is, right? Largest staff, most expensive budget.
Yeah, I would say so. Most professional, maybe not biggest in terms of like number of cars, because I think there's like a 3-car team maybe.
Yeah, but I mean like there's 20 employees or something. Yeah. There's 2 18-wheelers, aren't there? Or is there one?
I think there's...
You're like, I don't know, I don't pay attention.
They got another, there might be 3 now.
Oh my God. Okay, so
There's
God, your fender just squeaked.
It's okay. It's
so
chassis.
you're doing all this stuff. You're moving so fast. How much of this is planned out years in advance? And if it is planned out at years in advance, what's coming in like 2023, 2024?
So the RTR thing was planned out in advance for sure.
Yeah.
Like a year in advance. Events and stuff, not really planned in advance, but we start planning the event yesterday, like a month ago. I want to do more events. They're fun. I like the style of event yesterday just because everyone just had a good time. It didn't take a lot to put together. Like we were able to lean on the staff.
It did on me.
No, but like the staff at E-Town was so great. And like,
oh yeah, they definitely did.
They know the venue because they know the venue. Like food wasn't an issue. Logistics, they have parking. Like all the things that we always stress about whenever we do an event was like not a thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was really cool. I want to do more of that. FD is fun. But it's not like, I don't want to be an FD driver forever. I just want to like do it for a while and have fun and get better and then go do something else.
Do you feel conflicted going to FD and like making other people money being a star? Do you like being like a professional driver? Do you want to do events because you want to make the money yourself because you're bringing in the people? Do you want to do the events because you want to have control over the future of car culture? Like what are the reasons that you're excited to do events? Or does it just like a different vibe and different fun?
I think for me,
it was very stressless.
Well, like if we're looking at it on the surface level, I go to FD, let's say people come out, they spend a bunch of money, they travel far to go watch, and like obviously FD is a great show, there's a lot of great battles and stuff, but I feel an obligation to put on a show for people and say they get to see a total of 5 laps from me between practice and competition, regardless of how far I go. That compared to like us having a fun event and just like driving with all these different cool people and having like tandems with the bros and like having free time to kind of walk around and talk and eat food and do things. It's just, I feel like I don't want to say it's a better show because FD is a great show, but you kind of know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I think the pacing of what we did, getting people in and out, it was much more of like an afternoon thing where someone was there for 4 to 8 hours and they saw everything and they didn't have to come back and like, they didn't have to, it was very quick. I mean, like there was 0 downtime from 6 to about 8. When we were moving for the crowd, it was going. Even with the logistical problems of having a figure 8 track that crosses on itself and everything else, like I think, like the spectators at FD round don't get to get in the cars as a passenger. They don't get as action-packed stuff going on. Like there's upsides and downsides. Obviously, there's better car caliber at FD. There's better drivers. Well, you know what I mean. There's obviously better drivers, but like it's a better overall experience. But it's very slow paced.
I mean, maybe I guess it's just like I wanna always be the best representation of myself with my driving because it means a lot to me.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Like if there were people here watching today, driving, like I had some fantastic laps today. Like I'm stoked at the end of the day. Like I drove with the homies.
You're a show off. You just want to show off.
No, but I want to like driving's my thing. It's what I've worked for a while.
Yeah.
To like be a good driver, and if someone comes out to watch me drive from far away, like I want to do the best I possibly can. And the odds of me having my best laps ever at FD are much slimmer than like an event where people are running bro lines and we're just.
No, that completely.
You know what I'm saying?
I've been talking about like YouTubers and you guys. I talked to say a low-level Pro 2 guy, and I'm like, most of the time when you go out and compete, you're always going to lose. Why don't you control your own image like you do, where you're not just winning because, you know, you're showing yourself win, but you're always setting yourself up to have a good time, to drive well, you know, do all those things that set you up for like success and show that to your audience and always get to show off, instead of like, how many people come back from a big competition, like say clutch kickers or whatever, and they're disappointed and they're mad and they're embarrassed of their results?
Yeah.
You know, like you don't really want to do that, and you don't want to put yourself in that position. So
No,
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
and that's another thing too. Like going out to Long Beach and making a dumb mistake and then like leaving and just like even if you won your first battle and lost in your second battle, like okay, you're still in the top 16, but you won one battle. Mm-hmm. Like you had one battle after all that time and money traveling and.
And you could have had a battle with someone that wasn't. Are you looking for something?
No, there's.
Oh,
can I run and grab a second sweatshirt? I'm freezing.
Yeah, go.
All right,
Do you want this jacket?
No, I'll be right back.
Drift Week 5 would like to thank these amazing sponsors, including BC Racing Custom Coilovers that have been with us from the beginning, the most supportive coilover company in the United States, ECU Master USA, who is also on this trip and has been supporting these trips from the beginning, NK Wheels, who we absolutely love, and always I run RPF1, so thank you guys. Drift HQ, that brings the support van. We could not do this without you guys. Vapetasia, who is not only on this trip driving with us, but also supporting the trip. A new sponsor, Heatwave Visuals. They support us with awesome eye protection and make rad stuff, including the beanie I'm wearing in these videos. And WhatMonstersDo.com, who makes great content. They support Lone Star Drift. They support our Japan content. You can go and use the Ebisu discount code on their website for a percentage off. Let's get back to the content.
I love this. In the middle of one of my videos, Adam's doing a merch drop. He's like, yo, let me show this fresh new sweatshirt that's
cold.
On sale now on my website.
This is on the top. We actually don't sell these on the site. It's an event specific.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's like super exclusive plug.
Yeah. Actually, it's not a plug because no one can buy it.
He's like, you can't buy.
Yeah.
No, that's like the new thing, like the Supreme brick. Like this thing's so dope you can't buy it. Adam's like, we only sell merch in NFT form now.
What's an NFT?
Non-fungible token?
I'm just kidding. Let's not do that. I don't want to talk about that. Is it still on?
All right, so what is in the future that's getting you your jimmies and a Russell? That's getting you excited? Sky's the limit, as big as you can dream.
I don't know, talking with the drift games guys, I feel like it'd be really fun to do what we just did in another country.
Yeah, they invited me. They said they want me to go out. Dave's like, Aaron, I'm gonna have you host the event. I'm like, why? And he's like, well, because if you do it, you bring everybody and it's your event, and because it's never been done there, the Irish will get really hyped up. And he's like, I'll help and do everything on the back end. He's like, you host it. I'm like, but you can bypass me and you do bigger events. And then he's like, don't talk yourself out of this. I'm like, okay. Yeah, he actually gave me dates and stuff. We already have it set.
But like, I loved going over to Australia and doing those events with Luke, like hanging out with the locals in the other countries. And like when we drove my S13 across country, that was like a replica of my cream car, drove all these amazing tracks. I got to experience culture. I want to travel more in like other countries and stuff. And I think if I could, like I was thinking about this event, right? I got to drive one of my favorite tracks, which I haven't driven in a while. So if I do more events, I just do them at my favorite tracks. Like doing at Musselman, doing at US Air, like do them at my favorite tracks to basically force myself and my friends to have a reason to go.
That's a good idea.
Out to drive the fun tracks. Do to different countries too.
Man, Musselman cannot handle that many people.
Why?
Oh man, I don't think it can.
Why?
All right. We're gonna have a riot and burn down the place.
No, seriously, I don't remember Musselman.
It's not that big.
What
the parking situation, the bleachers. Oh, we'll figure something out.
I think
no, I was
like,
gonna say
after this event, that's where my head's at. Like I just
I love it.
I want to force myself to be able to go drive fun tracks.
Yeah.
And like force my friends to come out too.
I was gonna say the vibe was so good. The big thing is like this venue was an excellent venue to do this at, and it was kind of like training wheels, because I do a lot of big events at Circuit of America and other things, but I'm never the last, like where the buck stops, if you know what I mean, for all the catering and everything else. And even here, we did it with incredibly minimal staff.
Yeah.
I mean, there was not a lot of staff for how many people. The crowd was incredibly well controlled and well behaved. They could have like burned down the place and carried our bodies off, and we couldn't have stopped them.
Yeah.
Don't give them ideas. You did well? You weren't overwhelmed by the crowd or anything? You did a good job?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always overwhelmed, so
Yeah.
that's always a thing. But it just, you can't make everyone happy, which that's one
I
thing.
think most people were pretty happy at that.
No, I know, but I just know that like there were people that probably would have liked to get a photo or signature that wound up leaving because it started raining, and that probably drove from far. And like I always stay as late as I possibly can. I just don't leave until everyone's happy. But like sometimes people just don't want to wait.
Do you get emotional, or is it like an anxiety thing? Like, you know what I mean?
I don't know. I just like.
Or you just feel guilty?
I don't know. I know what it's like on the other side, right? Like if you, like maybe they got the impression that there would be less people at this event and it would be more of a personable thing, and they'd be able to like hang out and have a conversation. And then they show up and there's a bajillion people and I'm like running around like crazy.
I think they expect that.
I don't know.
That's the energy they want, though. They wanted the energy. If it was a dead party, like say today, people would be like, oh, that was lame. They wanted to have the experience of it being a huge event that they're a part of, and the vibe and like the hype and the energy and all that stuff.
I just feel
I think y'all did a great job at that. And I think they want you to be like a hero on the stage, drifting and doing 360s and, you know, all those things. I think that is better than if they just like awkwardly stand there and look at you during an autograph signing.
I definitely think the whole drifting thing is important.
Yeah.
But I never put any of like the crowds or the people in videos and stuff, so I feel like it might be a little bit more shocking than, say, you know, some of the more mainstream YouTubers that like film themselves with crowds of people doing things.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
Where like I don't like to include that in videos because that's not my MO, I guess.
Do you remember that event where we had Alexi over? Did you watch him control the crowd and play like rock, paper, scissors?
No, that's a good example.
Have
like,
you ever thought of doing that yourself?
I'm just like an introvert.
Yeah,
like
I
when
understand.
it comes, like even if I have the mic on a stage, I just like.
I was watching Alexi do that and I'm like, how does he control a crowd like that? I was like, they're around him in a circle for like 45 minutes playing rock, paper, scissors. I'm like, that's crazy. It never even got into my brain that you could do that with people. But he controls a crowd very well. Everybody is so different in the way that they react to like YouTube audiences, and like, you know, I don't know, it's crazy.
Like my invitational event, I announced it because like I wanted to be more involved in that sense, and like in retrospect, I would have much rather been driving all day.
Yeah.
But like I fear that if I drive all day, that then I'm not like involved enough with the event. You know what I mean?
I think you just kind of let it be though. Like this, we just let it unfold, and it was what it was. I did the planning, I did everything. You were so disconnected. Should I say that?
Yeah, no, I've
you were literally on the phone once
in
and like 2 texts to me, and I was just like, oh God, I hope he's happy with this.
No, I said in
and
my
I
video,
just did my
like,
thing.
You guys proposed like, hey, look, like we have this event going, like let's blow it up, let's make it really big, and let's market it and come out and have fun and bring the homies out, and that's what we did. And you guys like made it happen.
I think every driver had a good time, more so they would than, like, even at the Invitational, there was people mad that someone else won a Corvette. You know, like there was a bunch of salty people.
They weren't mad that someone else won it, they were mad that you won it.
Why?
Because you're
They
Aaron.
hate me.
You know what's funny? When I invited you, I like invited you. I wasn't inviting people.
You're like, Adam or Aaron won't win.
I wasn't inviting people that I know would win. I didn't think you would win. I've never seen you drive that well.
Really?
I've heard that you drive well, but I feel like
you just never pay attention?
Well, you're usually in like piece of shit cars and like crashing into things or like flying off track.
That's
or, like,
funny.
Breaking things. So like you came and you did exactly what you need to do to win a competition.
Yeah.
You didn't overdrive.
No, I was careful and just made sure I didn't screw up and take myself out, and I got a Corvette. Thank you very much. I keep talking to you about this every year when we do interviews. I'm like, what can you dream up? You are only limited by like what everyone can dream. And you're moving fast.
I still want to do Drift Week Caribbean.
Yeah. How many cool ideas do you get to see a week? Or, you know, ever?
Not that many.
Really?
Yeah, not that many people.
I would think people would give you a lot of cool ideas.
They try to sell me a lot of cars though, because I buy a lot of cars. That happens a lot.
I buy a lot of cars too. Not as many as you. How many cars have you had?
I don't know, probably like 35 or 40.
Oh.
Not that crazy. I just keep them though, you sell them.
Yeah, I've had a lot. Is that thing motorized? It must be. All right. Well, before we finish, is there anything that gets you like really excited nowadays that you like to talk about? What do you spend your time like researching on the internet, looking at on YouTube videos? What's cool?
I feel like the only thing I ever really research is like new cars and things like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What's your next car? Do you have one of the new GR86s yet?
No, they're cool though.
Yeah.
They're neat.
They're hit or miss. We saw one in the parking lot for the first time last night or the night before, and I was like, I don't know. And then I see pictures of them, and you're like, oh, that's so cool. And then you're like, I don't know.
I enjoyed driving TJs. It was really fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because I keep looking at things like that, and I almost feel a responsibility to buy manual transmission cars just so they still make them.
Yeah.
And like they exist. And then I'm just like, I keep buying old shit boxes. But say if we all drove GR86s and they're all the exact same speed, it wouldn't matter.
I will say, you know what's crazy? So like, when is this interview coming out? I don't know if I should say this or not.
I can delay it whenever.
No, I guess we don't need to delay it. Whatever. I just won't say what I was going to say.
Okay.
But just the fact that you can still buy a 5.0 Mustang GT for, I think, sticker prices, what are they, 30, 35 grand?
Probably.
Manual transmission, and make almost like 500 wheel horsepower in that car.
Yeah, I know, that's insane.
That is wild.
It's weird that people haven't wanted Mustangs in the drift communities, and I understand it because they're kind of soulless, joyless.
I think with
cars in
with
some ways.
the new Fun Haver angle kit,
Yeah, it'll fix that.
yes, like the demo cars that we have are basically stock Mustangs with those kits. They feel so good.
The only thing I have to say about that is as someone that hosts events and everything and like deals with consumables on a large scale, I worry that if everybody drove Mustangs, they'd consume so many tires, you know? Like if we got people in GR86s, maybe tires would be 3 times as long lasting or this or that.
I know what you're saying.
Elliott Smith drives his, Elliott Smith is a band. Elliott Bright, he's driving his to keep up with us on ours, Valino R's.
Yeah.
You know, and then he's getting just a few
They're
laps.
definitely not like as competitive in terms of like, if you're trying to drive like an S chassis, it's tough. But if everyone's in Mustangs, then it's a blast.
Well, all right, anything you want to finish with? All right. Well, thank you for having me as part of the LZ thing. I thought that we were trying to host another event. We won't say what it is, I guess. But I was going to say, it was so stressful trying to make that damn event work.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
This was so turnkey and effortless. I was working on another event, and I mean, like, it changed venues multiple times. One of the venues went out of business and then wouldn't take the money, and then the contract got, you know, like I was in the contract phases. The other business was just trying to milk the bejesus out of it, and I kept having all of these problems. I usually throw events with no more than like 1,500 people. Like when we do the police academy, we had 1,500 people there. Like it was packed. You couldn't even get any more. So like an event with you wouldn't work there unless you pre-sold tickets and then didn't allow people. But you know, that could be a disaster if you didn't allow, like it was too exclusive.
Yeah.
So anyways, I was gonna say that was stressful from a totally different perspective. It's kind of fun to see the world you live in where whenever you deal with something, because like say Drift HQ has to make so much money to stay in business, or you know, you have so many employees, it's kind of fun to see differences, you know? Or like I'm watching Dave Egan's stuff, and have you talked to him about how Drift Masters works? There's like 100 Red Bull employees just on the media side.
Wow.
When he's announcing the events, have you ever seen a Drift Masters thing? When he's announcing, there's a local team hosting the event. He's like the main host doing stuff. He's a team working on it, and then he has an announcer in the normal language announcing, and then he goes with another announcer in a sealed room to announce just for the live stream Red Bull things. So if you ever saw where like Jack Shanahan and James Dean were drifting and doing all that crazy stuff in that stadium.
I'm giving you that because I think it's one of the best battles I've ever watched. This could be anything. Anything could happen here. You cannot take your eyes off it. Dean and Borkowski back at it again. And Borkowski back where he was the first time. All over James Dean's car. He is actually side by side. Front wheel to front wheel. He's pushing Dean around the track. And the transition is insane. The transition doesn't even make sense. How did he get away with that? And he's still in it. Borkowski dives onto Dean's door again. Here we go again. He is hungry for it. This kid wants his name on everyone's lips tonight. And by midnight, he might just be that rising star. As he all over the back of James Dean's car, he's right there. He's closer than he was the first time. He's more aggressive than he was the first time. And now he's right with Dean. He lost him here the last time. Not this time. James cannot get away. And Borkowski goes right to the door. Does he make a big impact with the wall? How does he hold it? It doesn't make sense.
he's in a completely like soundproof box somewhere else announcing all that stuff for the live stream. You know what I mean? Like, so there's so much like background stuff going on and everything, and such high production level. You're just like, wow, like it's so cool to see how other people do stuff, because I'm talking
crazy.
too much. Why don't you talk?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. Ask me a good question.
All right. We need to finish up though, so you can go live your life.
I know.
What makes you happy? What are you gonna go do when you're done with this?
Like this week or?
It doesn't matter.
I'm going to West Virginia to ride side-by-sides for a day, and then I'm going to the Smokies to drive Porsches for 2 days.
All right, what do you do that brings you joy that you don't video?
I feel like a lot of like driving on like back roads. I video it sometimes, most of it I don't.
Yeah.
Like I think one of my favorite things is when I go and stay with TJ, there's this drive through like San Diego, and we go to a place called Del Mar, and it's just, you just drive through mountains and you like wind up on the ocean and just like go get food in a really cool food spot with like nice scenery. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's like one of my favorite things in life, is just like go for a nice scenic drive and go get food in like a cool car.
You're like, I like to be alone and I like to not be bothered.
No, I like to do it with
cars.
people.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah, but I don't know, I was
gonna say you probably value privacy now.
Yeah.
Or quiet time, and like just go do fun stuff.
I like hanging out with friends a lot though. Like 9 times out of 10, I like love going out with like almost every day of the week at the compound. I'm trying to like get a group together to go out to dinner.
Yeah.
I feel like because I used to be so busy, and when I used to like film and edit all my own stuff, I had to like say no to like going out with groups of people so often that now I'm like always trying to go out with groups. Because I used to always have like massive FOMO because everyone would always go out and like go to dinner and stuff, and I'd stay home editing. So now that I have time. And
do you find it's difficult to get your friends to do stuff because maybe they feel awkward around you because you're so famous or anything? No? It's easy?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. And you don't get too many people that are just like around you because you're famous or want something from you? Get rid of those people.
Don't last long.
They don't?
No.
Yeah, you get rid of them?
I just don't entertain it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like if I can tell someone's like just kind of there for the wrong reasons, like they just say certain things, and I just don't like engage in conversation. I guess.
That's true. They're like, do you want to collab? Do you want to do this? Well, you're a good sport about all of it though.
I just like driving.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'd say let's go drive, but that's over.
We'll go driving Poconos. It's gonna be freezing. I need to go buy a jacket.
Yeah, I'm gonna have my people in thermal underwear. You know what's crazy is it's gonna be like 40s, but then as soon as we leave the day after, it's like in the 68 high. And then Summit Point hopefully is gonna be beautiful, because I'm really excited for Summit Point. That track looks insane. Have you driven Poconos?
Yeah, but I haven't driven Summit. I'm excited for Summit.
Is the tire wear good at Poconos?
We drove it in Z's, so I feel like that's a...
You don't know then?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on Drift Week.
Yeah.
It's cool. Thanks for making some of this stuff work. Like Drift Week 1 wouldn't have worked without you or Hoonigan and a lot of those people. Luke was a big star on that. It's fun to make characters and kind of like have my own little thing going on and everything, and like get to meet, you know, all these other YouTubers that are like, because it's kind of like what's keeping drifting super exciting for a lot of people right now, because you weren't around when like FD started burning out all the Pro-Am kids, but I'm sure you've seen it. Like it's cool to have like other outlets, and without the ability to get people to these tracks and keep people excited, like drifting's kind of on the downhill some places. Like you can see OSW or DeSoto, which become, you know, the Freedom Factory, were basically dead tracks.
You need to come to like just a normal OSW event, just like a once a month event. It will blow your mind.
Why? Because there's so many people?
There are so many people.
Right.
Like when I go there, I'm just like, holy fuck.
But you blew that up. That
Drifting
only exists
is
because of you.
thriving in Central Florida.
Yeah.
It is insane.
It was dead for so long.
Yeah.
You know? And like that was a defunct skid pad.
I feel like it's not just because of me though. I feel like a lot of it is the community, which sure, like, okay, you could say that I have some part in shaping it. But
Yeah.
everyone's just like really nice and welcoming for the most part. There's a couple fuckheads, but like 90% of the people are just great, and they just like bring other people in, and everyone helps each other, and it's just a very welcoming community.
Yeah, but I mean, I still think there also is like that key piece of media, like maybe Stewie Bryant stuff. I'm not quite sure who did it, but like Ebisu got blown up for foreigners at some point, and then everybody went because they saw something, got excited. I feel like OSW got excited because you were there, and then people just started showing up, and then it got critical mass, and people got excited. Because also DeSoto, which is the Freedom Factory, used to have drift events, if I remember correctly, and then just people stopped going and no one cared, and then a YouTuber moved in.
Yeah.
Now it's like this huge media spot that host races and all kinds of crazy stuff, and like it brought something back to life.
Yeah.
And it's profitable and, you know, interesting and neat. I still think Hoonigan needs to make a full, huge, like Ebisu facility with their money or something. Like some of those channels like that are super, I mean, I don't know if you know about the backside of Hoonigan, but I assume that it is super monetized, you know, with huge amounts of money.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
So like, it wouldn't be a big deal for them to bring a couple $1 million together to put on an event. I'm sorry, a track, and then like build it out.
I feel like they just wouldn't want to do that though. I feel like it's just too big of a project.
Probably, yeah.
I hope they prove me wrong.
But say with like, they went to Saudi Arabia and they do all that stuff and take stuff over. That must have been huge money. And you're involved with SEMA. Imagine how much it costs for like Ford to rent the outside driving area for SEMA.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably a multiple $1 million skid pad experience.
Yeah.
By the time they pay JR's group and, you know, pay SEMA and do all the other stuff and the unions to unload everything.
Yeah.
It's crazy. All right, I'm talking too much, and this was Adam's interview. Let's go do something else.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Bye.